You are now watching On the Move with SportzKelz.
I've been running the long run. I've been fighting the good fight. Got my eye on the good prize. So I see you at the finish line. And you're here to get yours. Best believe I'ma get mine. The only one holding me back is me. So I see you at the finish line.
Full speed ahead, cause early bird get the worm or receive the bread. Cause every day it's like a race, from start to finish. And this I can't evade, so Gatorade till I replenish. I gotta finish, cause I ain't a quitter. I'm from the GOAT, so you already know that I am a getter. Not a sitter, I stand. Not a boy, I'm a man. I'm done talking, I'm playing, forget.
Let's go, let's do a round of applause, man. Listen. Woo! Man, I am just so excited. Listen, my name is SportzKelz, On the Move with SportzKelz. We have been on hiatus since June, and we back! Yeah. Listen, I gotta say something. How about my Cowboys? Y'all don't know. Hey, listen, we got a great show tonight. Man, but first, let's introduce. We got some new players in the building. So first, we gotta listen. He been riding me since day one. Give it up for Easy-E.
Yeah, Easy-E.
Listen, and we got two new players. Man, listen. We got Freddie J in the building.
Yes, glad to be here, blessed to be here.
And for all, listen, you already know what time it is.
What time is it?
What time is it?
What time is it?
You hear that beat? Boom, 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 boom. The fantasy doctor is here. So for all your fantasy league players out here, players.
Let's go.
The fantasy doctor's gonna be here, giving you all the ones and twos, giving all the info for your fantasy team. Listen, I played last year a little bit. I ain't do too well. I left half my scoreboard all messed up. So I'm glad I got an expert in the building.
Got you.
Team.
Yeah,
they're gonna be able to give us all them heartbeats and make sure, because you already know Easy-E is always gonna steal when he get back. He's still gonna be running things. So listen, so that's the team. We got Marshawn. He's out. He gotta make sure he get them studies in. And it's the team. So let's give it up for the team. Woo! Listen, ouch. Come on out here, 6 to 8, 911 Robin Wood Avenue, Suite J, the Suite J spot. But on Mondays, it's On the Move with SportzKelz in the building. So listen, come on out. You can get in touch with one of my teammates, Fantasy Doctor, Lawrence Johnson, Freddie J, Fred Yates, Easy-E. Listen. Or you can contact myself, 614-636-1278, and book your seat on the couch. So fellas, listen, what happened this weekend? What y'all do this weekend? We're gonna start with Lawrence, with Fantasy Doctor. What y'all do this weekend?
All I did was working on my fantasy team. I got 2 drafts tomorrow. I got 2 drafts on Friday.
Okay.
Listen, it's all about the fantasy time, baby. I'm telling you, this year is going to be my year. It's always going to be my year because I made the decision, and it's my picks.
Okay.
You know what? Because I am the doctor. And my job is to keep you alive in your league.
As long as you pick
you
some
want to see me.
And that's what I'm talking about. I'm going to have to see you. All right, Freddie J.
Hey, what's good, Columbus?
Hey,
your man, Freddie J. Hey, I had a busy weekend this weekend. I got to give a shout out to South Bulldogs. I was over at the high school game.
All
Friday.
right.
They picked up their first victory of the season, beating East High School over there. It was a very entertaining game. Hey, the Battle of the Bands over there was unbelievable. East High School marching band. Hey, I got to give them props. They've always been notorious for being a good band. And hey, I was excited. I was ready to get out there and be on the drums.
Do some marching
But yeah, you know, we did the South High School game on Saturday.
Okay.
Then we was over, you know, I was with SportzKelz. We had the anti-bullying rally over at A+ Children's Academy. That was a big. That was a great event over there. We had a lot of people come out, show us love over there. We had DJ Trouble was on the 1s and 2s. She brought the funk all day. I mean, we had SportzKelz was out there doing her thing, her dancing, doing her hip hop fitness.
I'm still messed up. I gotta get myself together.
And then I gotta give another shout out to the Columbus Fire, man.
All right,
we can't say enough about the Columbus Fire. We was all there on Saturday night. and for the celebration, they ended the Western PA Wildcats 28-game winning streak with a
Can't give them too much. Can't give them too much.
fourth
Gotta
and
wait.
1 on the 1, going in for the touchdown, and the Fire dug in and they denied them the chance to go. So it was unbelievable. Shout out to my man, Mike, wide receiver number 1, Mike Tatum. Man, we can't say enough about that guy. We gotta get Mike Tatum on the show.
Yeah, we gotta hold that. We gotta hold it in. You gonna give it all away. You gonna give it all away. I'm like, man.
You know, so it was just an unbelievable weekend. I'm looking forward to this week.
Okay.
In the high school, the big game that we're gonna be going to. I'm actually gonna be over at the schools tomorrow for the practice cover practices. We're gonna be at Beechcroft at Marion Franklin this coming Friday. Going to be a huge City League matchup. Y'all hearing it here first. Y'all need to make sure y'all get out there. I'm going to be out at the schools tomorrow talking to some of the coaches, talking to some of the players. I talked to some of the ADs.
You giving it all away.
So, you know, I'm
man,
hyped.
That was more than a rundown.
I'm just hyped.
Man, you hyped.
Hyped.
Come on, Easy. I don't know what else to say. Me and you like got left out. I'm like,
You know where he was at. You know, like I said, shout out to Columbus Fire. You know what I'm saying? They held their own on Saturday night, like you said, ended the 28-game winning streak.
Right.
You know, I mean, hey, they dug in deep. You know, we was partying all night long, popping bottles, having a little fun, talking trash to WPA and their fans, and send them back to Pennsylvania, you know, where they need to be at. Sent them back. And, you know, after that, you know, went to go see that scrub of a fight, McGregor and Mayweather and all, you know
we're going to talk
so,
about that in the top rope segment.
But, you know, hey, that was my weekend, so, you know, hey.
Yeah, they said it all. SportzKelz was with the fellas. It was a great weekend. And to be able to come and just see my set just come to life. And again, shouts out to the 2017 PAFL champs, Columbus Fire. I've had the pleasure of actually following their journey since the beginning. And they were pretty much like, I guess, the epitome of allowing me to have that media presence on the ground, and I will be forever thankful to Drew Green for actually just like putting it on. He was just instrumental, and to see how they just went from the beginning of the season to where we at now, it's just like big up. So yeah, we gotta give it up again for them, because man, that was a game and a half. So listen, you already know what's about to happen on Thursday.
Yeah, let's go.
Oh, man, Buckeye season is here. I call it the countdown to the kickoff. So, fellas, first of all, you know what? Let's shout out to all our audience that's in the building.
Thank y'all for coming out.
Thank you for coming. Listen, it is a blessing just to have you all here. So the first On the Move with SportzKelz, book your seat on the couch. Book it on the couch. Listen, you're right, everybody know I live and breathe Buckeye Nation.
Absolutely.
Man, when I say live and breathe, I'll be in there like, hey.
You have to get that old state.
So I already know. So listen, Thursday, August 31st, the last day of the month, OSU comes back in full effect. How you feeling? How you think they gonna do? We're just gonna go down the line.
Hey, we get predictions already?
I mean, we're just gonna see, you know, with them being new and what's happening, like all the different changes.
Listen, we're not new.
Come on.
We reload. We don't rebuild.
We reload.
Offensive line sucks. And then you have a rookie running back in Fournette.
Who's the starting quarterback for them?
It was Brewers, but now that is
Chad Henne.
Chad Henne.
They've been going back and forth between Chad Henne and Blake Brewers.
I know.
So, but really,
it's not a lot of.
So really, right. So really, Kaepernick, he can win the job.
I would be
because of his athleticism.
I would be so excited if Kaepernick can go out there and show that he can still play. Finally get his mind on football, get away from all the off-the-field stuff.
Right.
Keep it focused on football and get back to what you love. People forget this man was just one play away from a few years ago from being a Super Bowl champion. There was one play. So I know he had all this stuff with off-the-field stuff, but I really think it'll be good for him mentally just to get back being in a locker room environment and just focus on football. So like I said, hey, big ups to Colin Kaepernick. I hope he can win that job. I would really love to see him back on the field.
Man. Yeah, well, no. I think it's like a small little catch that the Jaguars are asking for him to come back on. So, I think so. I want to see him back on the field.
It's going to be interesting. Yeah. Definitely going to be interesting.
With the preseason coming, with the preseason ending, yeah. They're looking like season opener, September the 10th. They would have him suited up.
And we was talking about some Super Bowl predictions earlier. I'm actually going to go out on a limb here. I've been very impressed. People automatically think the Patriots are going to be back.
Okay.
I know a boy of mine is watching it. I have to say, I'm very impressed with the Oakland Raiders. I have now that they got Beast Mode, has signed with them. If Derek Carr stays healthy, they got Amari Cooper. They got a young, athletic defense over there.
I think it's going to happen.
I think my bold prediction, I'm predicting the Raiders. Predicting the Raiders in the AFC Championship game this year against the Patriots.
That's really not a bold prediction, though.
Whoa.
Yeah, not a lot of people are predicting the Raiders to make it that far.
They're the second best team in the AFC.
But I'm just saying. I'm saying.
With a new stadium, we're going to
the Raiders are. I'm going with the Raiders. Outside my Browns, I'm going with the Raiders.
Well, you already know the Browns will be somewhere in 2045. It's going to be like 2045.
Hey, y'all going to keep sleeping on my Browns, though.
Since we're making Super Bowl predictions or whatever and all, I'm going to go chalk Tom Brady. Until you beat the man, you got to beat the man to beat a man, So, Tom Brady, Super Bowl.
I'm just tired of seeing Tom Brady, so I want
something
something different.
Right, I want to see him, too.
Beat him.
Because my Cowboys will be in the Super Bowl.
They going to be. They're going to be.
How about my Cowboys?
They're going to be looking for Jason. Jason Garrett going to be looking for a new job.
Listen. Wait till my boy Easy come back. It ain't gonna be nothing but lights out. So I'm ready. So as we move forward, we're gonna take an advertisement break.
Yes, sir.
Refresh it up, and then when we come back, I'm gonna give a shout out to our underground artist contest. I think we just have one of our Columbus Fire just stepped in.
All right.
On the couch, and just refreshments here. So listen, on the move with SportzKelz, we will be back. A lot of football.
Had like a 40, 50-yard pass, and it was down there immediately. So I remember the interview Kobe Bryant did. He was up 2-0 on some team in the finals, and someone asked him, why you not smiling? Are you excited? Are you happy? And he's like, just nonchalant. He's like, there's still work to do. Why am I happy? So it's just, everybody having to maintain that composure. Like I had a conversation with one of my teammates after they came back with the win from the Timberwolves. And I'm like, y'all getting real happy. You have to walk that tightrope. We still got 3 games left. Celebrate, but this ain't the celebration that we're here for. This is not the celebration I'm here for. I don't celebrate till the job is done, and we still have work to do.
You still got work to do.
No.
And that's what we were saying. Even after it was over, you were celebrating, but it was like that quiet storm. Even through all of y'all was watching, especially like you said, the veteran players and even the coaches. It was like kind of where y'all was like, it was the younger guys. And then like I see the veterans was like around, like on the outside. And it was like watching, like the Cowboys and Indians, and they was all around. But then you can see the older ones that's been around, you kind of were just like taking it in. So that's when I realized, like, this work is not done. And, it was like it was still more work to the even here and now. It's like, you already know, like, we got this, but we got one more game still left.
Now one thing, Fire, I've noticed since I've been covering this team, the one word that sticks out to my mind is this team has a lot of resiliency. I've seen you guys go through many ups and downs through a ball game, but through all of that, you guys have always seemed to have found a way to pull these games out. Is that just kind of been you guys' theme? Also, resiliency, playing to the whistles over? I mean, what comes into you guys' mindsets when people on the sideline?
You talked about that.
They may think the game is over, but you guys just never feel like, as long as there's time on the clock, you guys gonna pull that out.
Well, for me, and I could probably speak for a majority of other guys on the team, it's all about how big your heart is.
Right.
And as far as the ups and downs that we've had within the game and throughout the season, we knew what we had to do in order to get over that hump. And we had to just keep fighting and clawing for that victory. As you know, he was speaking about the question that you had asked him about how was we feeling during that first and goal. When they had first and goal, it was either win or go home, and it was who wanted it the most. And we stopped them 4 times at first and goal.
First and goal.
At the 1 yard line. They had, what was it, first and inches, really.
Yeah, first and inches,
And
y'all kept them out of the end zone.
that was big boy football right there. That was nothing but 300-pounders on that line stopping them, you know. So it was all about who had the bigger heart, and we seemed to have pulled it out our hat.
And as for like the coaching for all of you, you know, you all have different styles of coaching. So Tampa, how do you deal with that when you're on the field and you have different styles of coaching and it all meshes together? You know, we're going a little bit deep.
It's tough because when you have, we're first and foremost, we're all grown men, and we all have lives outside of football. So it's you have to really humble yourself and say, hey, you know, there's a bigger goal at the end of the day than just me. And the same goes with the coaches. A lot of coaches, you know, might not get along, might not. Let me choose my words carefully here. They might not agree with what another coach says or another player that coach vouches for, and so you just have to have that common ground, like, hey, this is bigger than me and you. This is for the Columbus Fire. This is for the Battle Stars who came before us, the guys who couldn't finish the season with us. So, you know, there were some things that happened along the season that I didn't necessarily agree with the coaching staff. And in my later career, I've learned how to voice my opinion outside of the football field, because you have so many different emotions running at one time.
When you on the field.
Yeah, you kind of have to say, hey, let me get through this game first, and then put whatever I needed or whatever I wanted to discuss for after the game. You know, when we're in the meeting rooms. And, but that it's funny you ask that, because a lot of that goes on more often than anybody could ever imagine. You know, why is this player in the game? Or, you know, why aren't we running this and we should be running this? Or he just made a mistake. Why is he still in the game? It goes on.
Yeah, and it goes on, because I've actually been at the NFL games, and it is just, if not worse, even on that level. And when you as a media, you kind of get to see the real emotion, like you said, as not just as a player, but just as a man itself. And you have to deal with different situations. And that's why I kind of wanted to ask, it's really no difference than a lot of you have played at the high caliber, and then you're playing, you know.
Well, like I said, with semi-pro, you choose to be out here. You know, it's voluntary. You know, you can choose to play your best and get signed and pick up and go somewhere else. But what I'll say the difference is from here into college. In college, it's either you get with that program or you go to another school. And so when you don't have that type of training or that type of structure, and you're just coming, you know, say you're coming out of high school and you were a stud in high school, then you come to semi-pro, you know, you're still reliving these high school days, but not understanding that, hey, this man just left from 4 or 5 years of college, and he's not going to put up with, you know, what you're doing. Or you have this coach who's won 3 national championships. You know, he's not going to, he doesn't have time to babysit you until you to mature. So a lot of the guys you'll see you can kind of tell who's had secondary level coaching, because, you know, you want to cry and go home. You go cry and go home to your mom.
So a different way you prepare. So it's a different way you prepare mentally and even on the field.
You prepare totally mentally. Like Drew and I, we hang out outside of football, but I know once we're in football mode, I can't talk to him a certain type of way, and he can't talk to me a certain type of way. We just have a mutual respect. But once that clock hits 0-0,
we gonna go
you
back.
know, and we out grabbing a drink, you know, it's hey, mother, hey, knucklehead, nothing like that. But when we put the pads on, it's totally different.
Hey.
Well, we're not going to, I don't want to give too much, because listen, in 2 weeks, September the 11th, the whole entire show is going to be another live audience. Come back. All right. It's On the Move with SportzKelz. We are back. Let's give it up again for the Columbus Fire. Woo! Yes. Man, we had Coast Through, we had Tampa, and we had Tucson come on the couch.
Right.
On the couch.
Beautiful couch.
On the couch. So again, September the 11th, make sure you are here. It's going to be another live audience. We're going to have the Columbus Fire team come. They're going to talk about the journey, then the aftermath. So you must stay tuned. You can actually listen to us live on www.justtalkradio.com. So make sure you will tune it in every Monday from 6 to 8. So now we have seated on the couch. I am excited to have. First of all, when I first started to come back on the show and what we were going to do, I thought about faith in sports. There are so many athletes that are playing, but they're living for Christ. They're living for the Lord in different aspects of their life. And I just go back to one particular when Stephen Curry was actually going into the league and when he was talking about his shoe deal and how everybody was mad because he didn't go with Nike. And that was a bold statement for me when he went with Under Armour because he wanted his scriptures on his shoes. So for me, I thought about faith in sports because, again, I had took fear and failure and I replaced it with faith and favor. Right. And with faith and favor is where I have my own set, the book, The Seat on the Couch. And again, it just goes back to, it's faith in sports. You think about athletes in all different spectrums and what they do to get to the championship, to get to the Super Bowl. And you start to, research, and I came across FCA, and it means Fellowship of Christian Athletes. This organization is nationally known. It touches millions of lives. It was founded in 1954. The Fellowship of Christian Athletes has been challenging coaches and athletes in the professional, college, high school, junior high, and youth levels to impact the world for Jesus Christ. So for me, I live and breathe. I love God. Like I said, he's the basis of my foundation. And it doesn't matter if you're not in the building or not, he's still my foundation. And that's where FCA's vision is. They see the world impacted for Jesus Christ through the influence of coaches and athletes. So we have on the stage here, we have Coach Rye D'Orazio. Let me say I'm saying it right. So I'm going to say Coach Rye. He is the FCA Director. And then we have Mifflin high school wrestling coach, Coach Caska Thompson. We got to do better than that. We got to do better than that.
Show him some love. Come on.
Yeah,
Come on.
Give him some love. So before we get started, we kind of talk about the FCA, but I want to kind of talk about their bios. Coach Rye, he was his former St. Charles high school football coach. And now he's the director, so I want to ask some questions about that, And then we have Coach Caska Thompson. Listen, when I first, when they said they was going to bring Coach, I started looking up, me and Fred did, and we was like, man, we about to have a legend on the stage, like two legends that are like pioneers in their time when it comes to athletes and who have came through them as, as young adults. And we started to talk about that, and it was like, man, Kelz, you have two pioneer coaches. And again, it was just great to be able to start researching them about, their faith in sports and how they talk about it with their athletes. So Coach Thompson's bios made his appearance into the world in Milwaukee, Wisconsin in 1976. He's a devoted parents. Caska and Gloria Thompson sought out after improving their quality of life. They made a significant decision to relocate to Columbus, Ohio. Caska is a proud graduate of Columbus Brookhaven High School. Hey, 1994. He prided himself on his competitive spirit as he participated in football and exceeded expectations in wrestling. After high school, he landed a position with Limited Brand Distribution Center, where he proved his dependability for 8 years before launching his own business, C. & Thomas Cleaning. Caska accepted Jesus Lord and his Christ in his life on November of 1999. On fire for Christ, he joined Mount Carmel Holiness Church of America. Other saints and clergy will testify that he is in love with the Lord, and it shows from the inside and out. And I did some research, and it is true. Yes, he loves the Lord inside and out. In 2001, he graduated from the Prophets at Marion Christian Center in Marion, Ohio. Then shortly after, he transitioned to the Lord Church Ministries in the year 2013. Caska also serves as president of Men of Integrity, a nonprofit organization to teach men the fundamentals of the Lord Jesus Christ in order to create a foundation for the betterment of the community and increase the diversity of denomination and race. Caska is a man of God before anything else. Despite holding the title of coach, owner, and president, just to name a few, he is a devoted husband to his lovely bride, Miss Lucy Thompson, whom they share in the joy of raising their future four intelligent children, Andre, Kenya, Romeo, and Caska III. That's the third. So listen, to have both of them here, it has been a pleasure. So just to even get started, Coach Rye, what does FCA mean to you?
That's a great question. First of all, thanks for having us here. It's always great to be talking about Jesus and sports. So, FCA means to me, it's impacting lives, and it's making a change and a difference in young men and women's lives, and be able to, because sports have influence. Athletes and coaches in the building have a lot of influence, and FCA is really helping kids deal with life issues from a biblical perspective through a relationship with Jesus Christ. It's in the schools where the society would think that God's not welcome, but that's not the truth. God is welcome in the schools. So we minister right in the schools, right where they go to chemistry lab, right in the locker rooms. So FCA is an organization that is in the schools with the kids and providing the ministry right where they go to school.
Oh. Coach Caska, what does FCA mean to you?
FCA, I have been a part of it maybe, 2 years? 2 years.
Okay.
It's really necessary in our schools to be able to draw our kids to Jesus Christ. It's really, I think in order for us to really get kids to know more about Jesus, we need an outside organization, because being inside the building, there's certain things that I can say or do, which FCA is beneficial in helping provide a greater service to the whole student body.
Okay.
Barry, you can get the first question.
Okay, well, Coach Thompson, I have a question for you then.
Yes, sir.
Do you find it difficult to get young men in a predominant black school to participate in cross country and wrestling, where sports are dominated by football and basketball?
As far as wrestling, I started coaching in 2009. I started out with 5 kids in a room.
Okay.
It was fairly hard then, because the kids weren't familiar with it. They didn't necessarily like the outfits. Mm-hmm. But because of the success in our feeder program, mm-hmm. Mifflin is more respectful and responsive to wrestling. Now, as far as cross country is right now not familiar, and it's not accepted because it's an intense workout, and a lot of time the kids are afraid of it. But we have great numbers, because if you don't play football or do soccer, if you're a wrestler, you're mandatory to do cross country.
Oh, wow. Because, I would think that doing cross country will help out with football and basketball just for conditioning purposes. So that's how I feel, that you do cross country, you'll be in shape. You won't be wearing down come fourth quarter, breaking down, being tired. You'll have that extra boost of energy or so, So, Coach D, I have a question for you. It's a two-parter. So, when did you know it was time to walk away from coaching to pursue other avenues in life?
Well, that was a tough decision because when you're coaching, you're with the kids. We try to coach football, and so you're with them more than this. But for in the middle of July all the way through December, we were fortunate to go deep in the playoffs a lot. You're with them every day, all day, and so you build that special relationship. But I had the opportunity to be able to impact kids throughout the city. In that role, I'm impacting just the 50 to 60 the kids that are right there. Maybe so even your position coach, right?
Right.
The ones that are there. Well, we're with the Fellowship of Christian Athletes, our mission field has 250,000 students. There's 400 high schools. There's hundreds of teams. So we're able to, I knew the difference was when I could see what the impact of take what I was doing at a micro level, okay, and take it to a large citywide, countywide level. So that was really another decision. I had a vision to say we can do the same thing on a massive scale and be able to impact kids, women, and men across the entire city.
Okay.
So that was really it. It was more of a calling.
Calling?
Yeah, it was really a calling.
Okay. Okay, so the second part of the question here, have you ever thought about getting back into coaching on a full-time basis?
I get asked every year to come back, and this year the coach put the hard press on me.
I mean, just with your expertise and all, just a little bit of knowledge of the game, just to come back, once you get on the sidelines, you might get that itch or so,
Oh, I go watch the games, and I got to stand far, far away in the end zone. Because what I'm going to do, I'm going to get up there, and I think I have all the advice in the world. I forgot, I'm not coaching anymore. So it is, because I love that. You do love the one-on-one relationships with the kids that you can build. So I get asked every year, and I have to say no to what I think is better. What I think is the best, having more impact on a lot more kids, even though I miss that. Coaching is a prominent profession in my family. There's 10 coaches in my immediate family. So Friday nights, we're busy. We're traveling all over the city, all over the state. So it is hard. It's part of our heritage and our family. So it's hard to say no. But I've been blessed. We've had a great run while I did coach.
Good deal, good deal.
This question is for both of the coaches. I know you have kind of seen the highlights.
And now it's time for Eazy-E's rant. What you talking about, son?
Playoffs? We're talking about playoffs?
We talking about practice, man.
I know,
Get a TO, Mr. Knight. Get a TO, baby. Get a timeout, Mr. Knight.
Come on, man.
That's terrible. That's a terrible idea.
It feels good to have that back, don't it?
It's my quarterback.
It's my quarterback.
And if you guys do that, man, it's unfair. We lost as a team.
Come on, man. We just talk about practice. We sitting here, I'm supposed to be the franchise player, and we're in here talking about practice. Come on, man.
Float like a butterfly and sting like a bee. Ah, rumble, young man, rumble.
Not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7. Hey.
Come on, man. Who's coming with me? Who's coming with me? Who's coming with me?
Man, what a great show that we've had today.
Right.
We've had the PAFL champion Columbus Fire up in the building today.
Yes.
Shout out to Drew, Tampa, and Tucson for coming in. We've had Coach Thompson and Coach D from FCA. Shout out to them as well too.
Those are
pioneers. Pioneers, visionaries, and all. But this is how
it
we
feel,
E? It feels good to be back on this couch. Back in my element, you know what I'm saying? It feels good just to, it's been a minute since I had this rant.
Since June.
And I've been feeling I feel kind of rantish, so, I mean, hey, there's so many things I can talk about. I can go into Zeke Elliott.
Right.
Or, I can go into the Browns being 3-0 in the preseason and all, but that's nothing that, what I'm saying, that I'm feeling, because again, it's nothing to rant about, because again, it's preseason. What I want to rant about tonight,
here we go.
I want to rant about, let's take it back to June. 4-1 Golden State Warriors. They demolished the Cavaliers in the finals. Just took them behind the woodshed and was like, you know what? Get out of here, you bums. Get out of here. So whatever's going on between the Cavs now and the Cavs then is just pure turmoil. And so my rant tonight is about the Cleveland Cavaliers. And Mr. Kyrie Irving. So yes, Kyrie, great player. Truly dig your game. But you have to be the most dumbest guy in the world. Why would you want to leave Cleveland? Because, again, when you were with Cleveland before LeBron came, Your record was terrible. It was horrible. You finished in last place with a record of like 21-61. You are not a franchise leader. You are a second teamer.
Right.
Only person that leads that team is LeBron. So now you want to get traded to Boston, which I don't know, the trade still might not go through because of the fact that Cleveland's stupid enough to give him up for an injured Isaiah Thomas, who has a hip injury or whatever, which is not 100% healed yet. So you get him, Jay Crowder, he's trash. So, and some center who won't be in the NBA for another 4 years or whatever and all. So, yeah, that's how I feel about that. But still, if Cleveland does this right, this is just my personal opinion, get Jason Tatum. Get Jaylen Brown. Because, again, if you don't get this, you are the dumbest franchise in the world. Don't get me wrong, you guys will still make the finals. But, again, you giving up a Hall of Famer. I say Kyrie's a future Hall of Famer for somebody who's not going to be with the team next year, Isaiah Thomas, because, again, once LeBron leaves to go to Bronzo and the Lakers, Isaiah Thomas is not going to stay. Jay Crowder's going to get cut. Your future is going to rely on J.R. Smith. And that's going to be your leader, J.R. Smith, really? I mean, come on. Cavs, you got to do better than this, seriously. What I would do, keep Kyrie, let LeBron go. Then you run the team again and run it down to the ground like you did before.
Are we serious?
I'm serious right now. Kyrie, I have to say, you are the fool of the town. You're the fool of the week because of the fact that you want to leave. But you never know. Like I said, you still might be here in a couple days because, again, this trade might be null and void. Again, you just got to play with LeBron. Might be mad at him. You might be in the shadow. But that man is still going to get you to it. He's going to still get you to the NBA Finals. Are y'all going to beat Golden State? Absolutely not. But still, it looks good having a 1-3 resume on your finals record or whatever and all. So, hey, do what you do. Stay at Cleveland, but don't go to Boston, okay? Let's come on back to Cleveland, take this team over. LeBron's on his mogul status right now. You're like the dirt underneath his feet or whatever and all. So you take over the team next year, run them down to the ground, and enjoy losing in Cleveland. Hey, that's my rant. I'm out.
Man, that's what I'm talking about. I know. That's how I said, like, if they don't go through, that's going to be the most biggest and most craziest half deal in the world. But like I said, that's what happens.
That's what happens, though,
Listen, man, it has been an awesome show. Listen, I can't even stop grinning because, again, when I went on hiatus in June, this is what I wanted to take it to the next level. I wanted to be able to provide an audience where we can enjoy sports, not just behind the desk, but get the crowd interaction, and that happened today. So on the Move SportzKelz team, we got to give it up. Woo! Man, so thank you for coming out to our first sports show. Listen, we are going to be off the air for Monday, Labor Day, because we're going to be spending time with our family. I think me as a first grade teacher, I'm in the thick of things, getting my babies ready to learn, and that kind of goes back to what Coach Caska said. It's about respect. It's about making sure that your kids are equipped, and that's a word that I used this year was equipped. We're not just teaching, and we are equipping our children with life lessons that they're going to use, because I still know, my first grade teacher and my high school and what faith did to me. I grew up in Brittenell. I went to, Brittenell Church. So those are just things that, I loved about what they were talking about. So again, thank you to Coach Caska Thompson. So, woo! Coach Rye from FCA. The 2017 PAFL Columbus Fire. And also, I just want to say shouts out to all my guests, all the audience who came out today. Man, took time out your day to come and be a part of the On the Move with SportzKelz show. To Easy E, Fred Yates, to Liz, we got to get the fancy doctor. Listen, we're going to have to get him on. The draft is Sunday the 3rd. So also, thank you, because our draft is now full. All 12 spots are gone. So the fancy doctor, he going to be ready. So you're going to have to get going September the 3rd. It'll be at 6 o'clock. Watch on the Move with SportzKelz Facebook Live. You'll be able to get all those draft picks. I need him, so I'm ready for the doctor to get busy. So just kind of a last thought, just kind of going into the fight. The final thought is the difference between the impossible and the possible lies in a man's determination. And I kind of looked at the fact with Connor. You know, he went outside. He went outside the grain, and then he got in the boxing ring. And that's why I look at myself. I went outside the grain. So it's not your average sports show, but the difference between impossible and the possible lies in your determination. So this is On the Move with SportzKelz. We will be back on September 11th, 2017. Columbus Fire is going to take over. We're going to have our first barbershop talk. Ain't nothing like it. So come on out. Let's be a part of the audience. Hustle and heart. Set us apart. We out.
Peace.
You are now watching On the Move with SportzKelz.
I've been running the long run. I've been fighting the good fight. Got my eye on the good prize. So I see you at the finish line. And you're here to get yours. Best believe I'ma get mine. The only one holding me back is me. So I see you at the finish line.
Full speed ahead, cause early bird get the worm or receive the bread. Cause every day it's like a race, from start to finish. And this I can't evade, so Gatorade till I replenish. I gotta finish, cause I ain't a quitter. I'm from the go, so you already know that I am a getter. Not a sitter, I stand. Not a boy, I'm a man.